Welcome to Mighty Married Moms. Join us at our kitchen table twice a week as the Mighty Married Moms, Debbie,
Linda,
Wendy,
invite spectacular guests to weigh in on staying sexy, vibrant, and healthy,
building marriages with soul-satisfying connection, raising happy, healthy, successful kids. Conversations with Mighty Married Moms will bring you closer to the life you really want. Episode 118. Hi, this is Wendy Williams, and marriage happiness is way possible. ConnectAgain.org is very happy to sponsor Mighty Married Moms. We are partners in bringing you closer to the life you really want. Visit us today for marriage boosts at ConnectAgain.org.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Mighty Married Moms. I'm Debbie Owen with YouCanRaiseGreatKids.com.
And I'm Wendy Williams from ConnectAgain.org.
And Linda Ty from AllWellBreaksLoose.com.
And we are excited to be able to introduce you to my good friend Dana Wilde from The Mind Aware. She is the host. Yay, Dana, I know. She is the host of The Mind Aware Show, which is a podcast, and the best-selling author of Train Your Brain, How to Build $1 Million Business in Record Time, which she did, a book about having the right mindset for success. She was featured in the movie The Abundance Factor, and after having been named one of the top 50 most powerful and influential people in direct selling and network marketing, Dana now spends her days helping entrepreneurs build million-dollar businesses. Woohoo! She also has a brand new program called Train Your Brain for Parents. Dana, I'm so excited to have you here. It's a chance to talk with you.
I'm so excited to be here too. And what an awesome show you have. Like, I just flippin' love this. It's like I'm having coffee with you.
Awesome. That's great.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's right. Well, listen, Dana, I want to introduce you to our audience. Why don't you give us, a snippet or a story or something of, what was your aha moment that kind of got you onto the path where you are right now? Give us the drama.
Yes, yeah, really, here it is. So back when I was 19 years old, I had done the typical thing for my class of, family. We were very working class. My mom had gone right into the workforce and worked her way up in management at a major corporation. And so at 19, I had left high school and I had gone and worked for a major corporation whose name you would know if I said it, but I had one of those cubicle jobs where I did this, right? And I was wired in for answering calls. Answering calls all day is very stressful, very, very stressful job. And, anybody who's out there working in customer service, I feel you, because that's hard to talk to people all day long. And I was miserable there. Like, I was so unhappy. And the one benefit of the job was, and I was very lucky to get this at such a young age, was that the corporation ponied up and put everybody through a 40-hour training on the brain, how the brain works.
Great.
How your mindset creates your outcomes. Yeah, it was done by a man named Lou Tice, by the way, who passed, I think, 2 years ago. But fantastic training. And so I got 40 hours away from the cubicle to just study something I was already passionate about. I was like a child of the 70s, all those, I'm okay, you're okay books.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Well, I read all that stuff and just consumed it. Well, once I had this training from Lou Tice and really understand how the brain worked, I was like, oh my gosh. I can create my own outcomes. I can do anything I want to in my life. And that was a match already for my parenting, for the messages I got from my mother. And so I quit the cubicle job, bless their hearts. I left, and I started my grand adventure. And so from there I went and I, wrote a book at age 23, became a published author. I won a couple of Telly Awards in the film industry for writing and script supervising. I went overseas, lived about 10 years out of a backpack, just traveled for a decade all over Asia. And then I came back and I realized I first of all, wasn't qualified to do anything because I'd been overseas for so long. And so I was working in the film and video industry. And then I fell into my party plan company. Like people who are in that industry, I went to a party and I thought, this is cool. I should sell this. But once I started selling, I realized, oh my gosh, everybody is using how-to methods for building their businesses. They're all learning like how to pick up the phone, how to work, how to network, all those how-to things. I thought, why is nobody talking about mindset? So that's when I wrote Train Your Brain. And my team went from $0 to $1 million in 19 months and shattered the company record. The fastest anybody had ever done it was 42 months. And so that was kind of what the launching pad for Train Your Brain was. Yeah, it was really, I was really shocked, to tell you the truth. Sometimes, I mean, that's the one nice thing about travel is it really gives you perspective. You come back, and I was really like entering, you know, a whole foreign country, being back in my home country, realizing how many things I'd been using on a regular basis that just weren't quote unquote normal business world, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
So what you're talking about then, Dana, is your success was grounded in the kind of mindset that you adopted.
Yes, 100%.
You had done your own research and your experiences abroad.
Yeah, it was basically 100% mindset. And frankly, I think everybody's success is 100% mindset. Some people just know they're doing it, and some people don't know they're doing it. They're just doing it by default.
Yeah.
Once you get your mindset right, then, and if you can do it intentionally, like what we teach people to do with Train Your Brain is we teach people, get your mindset right first. Once you're feeling good, and think about it. Just think about feeling good. When you feel good, when you feel happy, when you feel excited, when you feel passionate, now you feel like taking action. You feel like taking, and your creative pathways in your brain when you feel negative are constricted. When you feel positive, your creative pathways in your brain are open. So now you get access to better ideas. You feel like talking to people. You show up as a different person. People see you and they want to work with you. They want to hang out with you. You want to hang out with them. You get better results. And so what we teach everybody about success is success starts with happiness. So we teach people how to get happy, feel good, get happy, and then do anything. Doesn't matter what action you take, it's going to meet with success.
Right. Now, do you get many? I'd be interested to know if your audience extends to people who term success different than having $1 million in the bank.
Oh, totally. Yeah, totally. Everybody. One of the things we discovered when I started this, because I was in a direct sales business, I really just started it just to help my team understand their brain better. Well, then we shattered the record in the company, and people were like, how'd you do it? How'd you do it? And I knew how I did it because I had been studying the brain for so long. Most people, when they have a success like that, they're really using their mindset to do it, but they don't give that answer because they don't recognize that that's how they do it. So their answers are things like the fortunes in the follow-up, and you have to get out of your comfort zone, and you have to hand out your business card to every 5 people. Well, I knew what the answer was, so I was able to say, well, I trained my brain, and I taught my team members to do the same. So then it went company-wide. Then I eventually sold that business, decided to retire, but people kept asking for Train Your Brain, so I founded the Mind Aware, and now we have success story after success story. But what I didn't expect is that those people are taking the concepts and they're using it in parenting, they're using it in relationships, they're using it to lose weight. We have one gal, we have several testimonies of people losing more than 100 pounds using Train Your Brain.
Wow.
But we have one gal, she lost 63 pounds, and she was doing it with this specific mantra that she was using. And so she kept saying this mantra, kept saying it, and she kept losing the weight. And so finally people kept saying, well, what mantra are you using? I want to hear it. And she said, I refuse to talk about it anymore because I'm at my target weight, and every time I say it, I keep losing more weight. I'm not going to do it. And so like I had to find out from her secretly so I could share her information with people, because once you realize how the brain works, I think you will have the same light bulb that I had when I heard this information 30 years ago. I'll tell you. Here, ready?
So can you share that mantra with us?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I'd be happy to share the mantra with you, and I'd also tell you why it works.
Yes.
So
That's a great learning point. So yeah, let's go with it.
the mantra is that she kept saying is the weight's falling off of me. The weight's falling off me. The weight's just falling off of me. And then she would imagine it just literally falling off of her and hitting the floor.
Oh, gee, yeah.
Yeah, the weight's falling off of me. It's just falling off of me. And so, and I mean, I think it's a great mantra. It worked really well. Here's why it works. Because people are so used to hearing these phrases. Thoughts become things. What you focus on grows. You bring about what you think about. There's all these phrases that are floating around out there. And I don't want to say I'm a very spiritual person, and so I don't mean this to come off like it sounds, but most people, there's this real woo-woo message around it, like the universe is bringing you things, right? It's a lot about the universe bringing you things. And so what I'm trying to help people to understand is what we have in between our ears, how our brain works. So one of the key points, if people can understand this, even if they hear this and they turn off this interview, this will be enough to bring them very, very far, okay? Inside of our brains, we have a piece of our mind called the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system is like a little matchmaker that lives in the head. And if you sit and look in this environment right now, wherever you are, look at the colors and the sounds and the sensations and all of the stimuli that's in your awareness. Well, the reticular activating system sifts through that mucky muck. We have billions of bits of information coming at us every second of every day. And so it sifts through that, and what it does is it matches up everything in the outside world to what's already in your inside world. Now, here's the part that I think where people have a challenge is that most people, when they're talking about this, they will say it's matching up your beliefs. It's matching up your beliefs. And so people sit and think, ooh, my unconscious, it's sabotaging me because I don't know what my beliefs are. And, oh, it's so scary, you know. It's almost like unconscious as mugger, you know, coming out from behind a tree, just whapping you over the head with something you have no awareness of. So what I try to tell people is your beliefs are nothing more than the thoughts you keep thinking.
Right.
So all you have to do is be aware that whatever you're thinking about and whatever you're talking about, that's what your reticular activating system is matching up and noticing in the outside world. So if you're thinking a thought that sounds like, I attract all the losers, I always have bad relationships.
Yep.
The reticular activating system says, yeah, got it. I'm on the lookout.
Right.
I'm broke.
I'm broke. I'm on the lookout for losers. I'm busy. I'm so busy. And I get busted on that one all the time. I'm so busy. Man, we're so busy. It's crazy how busy I am. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I'm so busy.
You'll never get not busy.
Exactly. Peace is not the way of talking about how busy you are. If you want peace of mind and you want a calm life and you want a relaxed life, any of those things. You want the good partner. You want to lose the weight. You want to not be broke. You have to find a way to talk about the current situation in a way that feels good.
Yes.
And if you can do that, now that's the road out. So
By feels good, by feels good, do you mean feels congruent or feels pleasant?
I mean, feels good. The better you can make it feel. So you want me to give you an example? Give me a problem that you think people get stuck in, and we'll do it right now in real time.
Let's do I'm
Overwhelmed
broke.
time. Oh, I'm broke.
Yeah.
You know, right? There's a big financial problem. America's got lots of debt and no savings, right? So
Okay.
And people personalize that and say, I'm broke.
Right.
Okay. Okay, good. So here's, now most affirmation schools will teach you perfect language, and perfect language is a great thing. And we talk about it in Train Your Brain too, because it's important to understand how the brain thinks. So the brain thinks that the perfect statement then would be to say, I'm abundant, right? Mm-hmm. But the trouble with using a perfect statement when you're in the I'm broke phase is that you don't believe the I'm abundant phase. You want to argue like angel devil, right?
Absolutely.
So what we do, we teach people like the range of emotions, the range of the emotional scale. We teach them transitory statements that ease people into different thoughts. And we teach them how to get there in an easier way. So if somebody is broke, right now they're thinking thoughts like, I'm broke. I don't have the money it takes to get there. I'm worried about money. It's really frustrating for me. I'm really kind of pissed off that we're in this situation. Feels really hopeless, and I'm not happy about it. And if they recognize, okay, I want to stop talking about this. I heard what Dana said on that show, and I realized I got a chronic habit of thought here, thinking about it in that way. I want to find some words to think about it differently. So what kind of words can I find that feel good? Well, I'm going to play with some words. I'm going to test some words out, and I'm going to try things like, okay, well, other people have been in this position and they found their way out. So I could probably find a method that works for me. Things aren't completely hopeless because I do know that I've still got some income coming in. And so I'm sure there's a solution there. And I'm open to the idea that more income could have my name on it, and that there are lots of avenues to money coming in. And there maybe are ways that money could come into my life that I haven't thought of yet. And I'm open to new ideas. And I could ease myself into the idea of being hopeful about this situation. I may not be excited or believing about it, but I could ease myself into the idea of being hopeful. And I think, you know, that there must be some solution that I haven't thought of yet, but I'm going to keep it on my radar, and there are ideas out there, and maybe I'll read some stories about people who've done it. I don't know where the solution is. I don't expect that I'll think of it now, but I do know when I feel better that I get better ideas. So I'm open to feeling better about it. And I'm actually starting to feel better already just saying that I'm open to feeling better. So I know that I'm onto something by saying that, because I can feel the relief in that statement. And now I'm starting to actually feel hopeful. I'm sure I can figure this out in some way or form. I don't have to have all the answers right this red hot second. I know I can figure this out in my own due time. So I've only brought just a little ways, and we've done that in less than 60 seconds.
Yeah, this is where your brilliance is, Dana, in help. No, seriously, because I've heard you do this with people who come to you on webinars or on phone calls or wherever, and you're able to help them move on that emotional scale from feeling completely hopeless to feeling hopeful. And I know that hope is a big part of the Train Your Brain program.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And thanks for bringing that up, Deb, about hope, because I think people sometimes think that in order to build a business or in order to lose weight or in order to have a relationship, that they have to be bouncing off the ceilings in excitement in order to get something done. And the reality is, what we're figuring out more and more is just get hopeful. You know, if you have an illness and you feel fear about it, that's different than if you have an illness and you feel hope about it. Mm-hmm. And the difference is huge. And we really like to teach people how to do this for themselves and how to catch themselves. And pretty soon it gets where you don't really freak out about those negative thoughts anymore, because you realize, oh, okay, I'm glad I'm aware of that negative thought. Before I was running on automatic pilot. Now I see it. I've got this chronic habit of saying I'm busy all the time. I'm glad I can bust myself on that, and I can start to turn it around. That's why we call the company the Mind Aware, because that's the ticket. Get aware, and life becomes an adventure. You know, people care what they wear. They care what they eat. They care what they drive. But nobody is talking about care what you think. Start paying attention to what you think. Care about the thoughts in your head. That's the core.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Two things came to mind when you were transitioning us. Mm-hmm. I was like, you sound like if I was your 18-year-old daughter who was struggling with a negative self-image, and you were mothering me. Yes. And I have said that so many times. I'm not trying to pin a crown on my head, but that seems to me to be so key, is what women naturally do for other women, their daughters, their sisters, whoever, their sons, their people. We cultivate hope, and we coach people along, like, it isn't as bad as you think it is. You are beautiful. You are, or whatever it might be. Yes. We know other people very, very well, but we turn such an evil eye on ourselves.
Yeah, on the nose. Totally on the nose. Yeah, that's it. And that's one of the ways we teach people. You know, we have 20 MindWare experiments in the book, but one of the key ones that we talk about is that thing I just did we call a rant. Mm-hmm. And the rant is really exactly like you just said, Wendy. It's about, well, what would you tell your best friend if you would do this? If your best friend came to you with that, would you say, yeah, you're screwed?
Yeah. No,
you never would, right?
No. Well, to be fair, sometimes people feel like they just need somebody to be empathetic and say, yeah, you're right, that sucks.
Yeah, but that is the first step.
That's the first step. That's acknowledging where they are on that emotional scale.
Yes, exactly. Good. That's exactly right. And that's one of the reasons I think we've been successful, is that I think people have this face of the positive thinking movement as like Stuart Smalley. I know. One of you will know. Do you guys know who Stuart Smalley is?
Of course.
Live, right? I'm good enough. I'm doggone it, people like me. Yeah.
People like me. Right.
And I not that any of that is bad, but I think that the positive thinking movement's got a bad rap because too often we haven't talked about acknowledge where you are. Once you understand, like, okay, no, I'm really pissed off, or I'm really fearful about this, or I'm bummed. Now you can move somewhere, but you have to start where you are.
It makes sense. I mean, you can't achieve a goal and jump from A to Z. You got to go the steps along the way. So why would you not need to do that? That makes so much sense. And actually, it really felt good having you take us through
I know.
that
I did.
I was like, oh, I feel better.
Yeah, and that's how you know it's working. Now, I really appreciate you acknowledging that, Linda, because that's how you know it's working, is you feel your way around. And sometimes you say a sentence and it doesn't feel so good, and you go like, well, all right, I'm not going to do that one again. Let me try a different one, you know? But
yeah, it's true. If you're at one end and you go directly to the other end, you just, in your
It's
being, you
inauthentic.
feel
It's
this
inauthentic.
is not authentic.
Yeah, exactly. And that's because of the thing we call the emotional scale. And emotions run along a spectrum. And so if you think about them in order from depression to fear or worry to anger to frustration to hope to belief to knowing to appreciation, when you're in fear, you really only have access to either depression or anger.
On either side.
Yeah. And so when some perky positive person comes around and says, you know, thoughts are things, you bring about what you think about, you know, get angry. You're going to smack those people because that's what you have access to.
Yeah.
And and unfortunately, especially as women, I'm thinking a lot of your audience is women. And as women, we often will get stuck in feeling depressed or melancholy or like hopeless about our situation. And we'll get ourselves feeling angry about something, but nobody likes us angry. And so it's easier to go back down to feeling depressed or fearful or worried about something. So we get stuck in these worried feelings when we don't realize, no, angry, you're just one over from hope. You're on your way to hope. When you start feeling angry, know that, two over from hope, know that you're moving in the right direction. Keep going that way. Get yourself feeling hopeful. This is about intentionally creating your emotions.
I would love to know if this, I've been reading about this with one of my favorite people in the world, and I hope Dr. John Gray.
Oh yeah, I like Dr. Gray.
He's still out there. He wrote, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus a million years ago.
Yeah, I like him.
Still actively doing research, and now the brain research is backing up what he's always been saying.
Nice.
But one of the things he talks about, and I would love to know if this is, if you would agree with this or not, I would want either way, is that when we are under stress and that cortisol is racing around in our system, we are not able to produce the feel-good hormones like oxytocin as women. And so one of the things that this exercise that you just took us through is gets us out of that cortisol surge and gets us to a place where we can feel good, because the body's, we're soliciting the body to be in partnership with not only the mind-body connection, I guess is what. But would you agree that when cortisol is being produced, oxytocin is not?
Yes, I would not know enough about the science of it to confirm or deny that, but I can confirm or deny what he says is true. When you are under stress, you don't have access. You just don't have access to the solutions that you need. And so step one is get out of stress. Now, interestingly, and I don't know if he would agree or disagree with this, we are an action society. We are an action culture. And so it's challenging sometimes to help people to think like, well, just sit around and think happy thoughts. That's going to do it. And so I don't deny that sometimes you can take action that you know is going to make you feel good. And this, I think Dr. Gray would probably agree with too, which is if you are feeling frustrated, you can sit down, take a deep breath, and you can ease yourself into new thoughts. Or you can say, you know what, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to walk around the block a couple of times. I know that's going to clear my head. I'm going to be intentional about my thinking. That makes me feel, you know what, I'm going to turn on my iPod. I'm going to play that happy song by Pharrell, and I'm going to dance in the office for 3 minutes. So for us, it's about the outcome. The goal is happiness.
Yes.
The goal is feeling better. The goal is feeling hopeful. The goal is feeling believing. The goal is being on the positive end of the emotional scale. And how you get there, I don't care how you get there, because the goal is recognize, be aware where you are, be willing to have a desire to move in a different direction. And why? Because if you move in that direction, you're going to get better results in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So does that make sense? I hope that answers.
Totally.
On a tangent.
No. Tony Robbins talks about that. Change your state.
Change your state. Yep. Yeah, that's a neuro-linguistic programming thing.
Yeah.
Very works.
What you're saying is absolutely right, and we talk about this all of the time on this show. Is to intentionally choose the life that you want to be living.
Live your intentional life.
If you're choosing to be happy, what do you do in order to make that happen? You know, you can't just sit there and say, I choose to be happy and do nothing. You have to do something about it. And the program, Trading Your Brain, is a fabulous program. I know because I've taken it. Which I highly recommend. It's a great way for people to take action to increase their own happiness. And as you pointed out, Dana, when you feel good about yourself, it absolutely impacts all of the relationships that you have with your family, with your coworkers, with your neighbors, whoever you run into.
What do they say? If mama ain't happy, you won't be, right?
Truth, right?
That's
You know,
right.
and we were just talking about energy a little while ago, energy medicine or energy connections, energetic world. And, you know, it just keeps going on and on and on. If somebody in the house isn't happy, the whole house feels it.
Oh, totally, without a shadow of a doubt. And again, and I mean, we referenced the studies with Dr. Gray, and one of the interesting thing about the brain studies that are out there is that we weren't able to do this stuff before. You know, really all of this is coming to rise in the last 10, 15 years. I mean, this is such an exciting, wonderful age that we're living in where we're able to discover these things that Eastern philosophies like, you know, the chakras and the energy healing and all of that stuff is known for a millennia. We are really just coming to understand because of the technology. Technology has become, you know, yeah, we can look at the brain and we can see what the brain's doing. So it makes a huge difference, you know.
Do you have any thoughts or recommendations for, you know, being in the direct sales industry myself? A lot of times you hear, you know, the negative spouse thing. You know, what do you do about the negative spouse? You have an idea about how you want to grow. And I think women probably confront it more so than men. You know, I shouldn't say that, I guess, but you know, I have this idea and I want to move to this positive place and, you know, go through this whole process. And the husband says, yeah,
that's never going to work.
That's not going to work. And still continues on the same sort of mental pathway. Is there a way you can still move in the direction you want to, even if your spouse is saying, I don't think that's really going to work?
You're going to like this answer. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So here it is. So once you start fully understanding Train Your Brain, and that the core of it starts with the reticular activating system, whatever I think about and talk about matches in the outside world. Now, when people come to me with the negative spouse or the team member that's not working story, and I had this happen the first time because somebody did that. I was at an event training leaders. Leader came up and said, I love this. I totally get it, but my team doesn't get it at all. And what I said to her was, how's that matching up for you? And she said, bing, light bulb. And she realized, oh my God, I'm sitting here all day, every day saying, my team doesn't get it. 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 Is it any wonder that this is all you see? So in the case of the partner, the spouse, think about yourself. I know I can say about myself, I'm a multifaceted human being. I have days where I'm really ambitious and I have days where I'm really lazy. I can say I'm a social butterfly, and you know what? I'm also a homebody and a couch potato. And I have days where I'm so friendly, and I have other days when I'm a big old bee, because we are all multifaceted human beings. There are things I'm very supportive of, and there are things that I'm not. And so as humans, you know, we can look at relationships, and most people want to psychologize them. I don't think that's a word.
It is now.
It is now, right? Yeah. So they want to say with the partner, well, he's probably protecting you, or maybe he's feeling like, you know, he didn't achieve that, and so he doesn't want, he's feeling jealous, or maybe he's got your best interest. I mean, there's all sorts of reasons we can say, but when we start realizing that everything is the way the world is reflected, that I'm reflecting the world, now it's not about him anymore. It's about what story am I telling about him. I can tell you a good story about this if you want to hear it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We love stories.
Yeah, because I just a lot of people say it. So
okay, so here's a story for you. So I had an experience. I've been Train Your Brain for a while, and I was starting to have an awareness that one of my friends who I'd been friends with for like 25 years was really negative. And it was just seriously bumming me out because I'd be on the phone with her. And have you ever had those conversations where you almost feel like you need to take a shower when you're done?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're just slimed by the negativity. And I was talking to my partner and I'm saying, oh, I feel so bad. I think I'm going to have to break off this friendship. And I'm thinking about it. It's bumming me out. Finally, I wake up one day, become aware, and I go, oh my gosh, Dana, you know better. How's that matching up for you? You keep saying so-and-so's negative, so-and-so's negative. I feel like I got to take a shower. It's bumming me out. I got to break up with her, you know, on and on and on. So finally, I said, okay, well, you know what to do. You're going to start training your brain about this. So I started thinking, about all the things I loved about her. And all of the ways that I know she is positive, all the areas, of her life. She's got these weird hobbies, and all her weird little hobbies that she does. And we had so many times where we really laughed about things, so I started having those memories of when we laughed. So no big surprise. I got on the next call with her. We had a wonderful, wonderful call and laughed and had a good time. But that's not the surprising part. The weird part was we were in the middle of the call, and I caught myself more than once, and I was just about to ask her about her partner and her daughter, the two things in her life that she's really, really negative about. And it hit me in recognizing that I stopped myself from asking her those questions. She's not the negative one. I'm the one bringing the negativity out of her because I see her as negative, and so I'm asking questions that bring out negative topics in her. And it was such a light bulb moment for me because I realized that she hadn't changed at all. I had changed. I started asking her about different things, started talking, started having different expectations for our conversation. So with regards to partners, same. If you have a partner that's not supportive, sit down and make a list of all the ways they are supportive. Sit down and make a list of the things you love about them. Sit down and make a list of the ways they have your best interest at heart. If you do that, if you start to really focus on that, and here's the beauty about this, what I love about my job is that if you do that for 72 hours, make a concentrated effort to focus on that aspect, you will start to get evidence in your outside world that it's happening, usually much faster, but the reticular activating system works really fast. Yeah, and your brain, you don't have to believe me. Your brain will convince you that this works. And most of us do this. Think about if you've ever gotten pregnant or you've ever wanted to be pregnant or your partner, right? Now it seems like everybody's pregnant. If you ever are looking for a new car or a new color car, suddenly it's like everybody's driving that car. That's your reticular activating system. Right?
Yep.
So,
no, it's a great example of reticular activating system. The car thing specifically.
Well, I can't believe this, but we are out of time for this episode. But we
that went fast.
Lots of things to talk about, so let's have you come back if that's
all right. Would you come back? Yes, I would love it. I'd be so honored. Thank you. Thank you. And yes, I can't believe how fast that went. Thank you for having me. That was fun.
That was so much fun. Yeah. So informative and inspiring. And you're just...
And you gave us some great nuggets to go away with.
Thank you all.
Tell everybody where they can find you, any programs that you want people to know about. I mean, go ahead and this is your chance to make a pitch.
Well, sure. The best two places, if you go to themindawareshow.com, you will have the opportunity to get our, daily mantra, all sorts of fun things, the show there. And DanaWild.biz site has a free training. So you can really learn everything you need to know about Train Your Brain in that free training. It's about an hour. Watch it, and you've got, and for my favorite price, free.
And it's Wild with an E on the end.
Yes.
Dana
Thank
Wild.
you.
DANAWILDE.
Right. .biz. .biz.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you go to the .com site, you'll see a link for the .biz site, but we're just trying to give you a shortcut.
That's great. That's great.
Thanks. Thank you
so much. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. Hey, everybody, we have been privileged and honored to have Dana Wild from themindawareshow.com as our guest today. And you're going to be hearing lots more about this because she's on the cusp of what is absolutely critical in terms of success and happiness, and that is understanding how your brain works.
Yes,
absolutely.
Nice.
So,
thank you.
Yeah. So
this was fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Keep up all your good work. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you. Hey, folks, you've been listening to the Mighty Married Moms. We ask you please to go to iTunes and leave us a rating and review and share this show with your family and friends. We would really appreciate it, and they will appreciate it too. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Mighty Married Moms. Tune in twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays to meet fascinating and inspiring guests who will help you create the life you've always wanted.
You can find these episodes and special gifts just for you at mightymarriedmoms.com, as well as a link to our Facebook community,
where we continue the conversation around the kitchen table. Please also help share the love by leaving a review on iTunes. We'll see you next time.